Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stitches and Scribbles channel. My name is Erin and I had a video planned that I was gonna film today, have been thinking about it for a while, but happened to stumble on enough supplies and ideas and kind of concepts that I completely switched what I was gonna film today. So we're just gonna dive right in. Originally, the plan for this video for this week was always to do a Ren Fair DIY since I'm getting very, very close to my Ren Fair trips that are coming up. So I've been kind of planning some costumes in my head, and I really wanted to focus on making my own costume pieces. So I had a DIY planned. I was going to make a hat that could go with some of my Ren Fair costumes. I'm still thinking I'm going to do it, but I was really excited about this other new idea. So to kind of back up in the timeline a little bit, one of the costumes that I am planning on doing is kind of mushroom themed. I'm not sure if I'm going to wear these wings with it yet or not, although with what I figured out today I probably will be. But last year I had a costume where I wore some of my normal Ren Fair pieces, and I had a mushroom pouch on my belt bag situation that I had crocheted, and I also had a little mushroom amigurumi doll that was sitting on my shoulder. Really, really cute, but I kind of wanted to revamp the costume a little bit and make it more whimsical. Some of the pieces I started with when I first started doing costumes for Renaissance Fair were more basics and solids, and I wanted this costume to feel a little bit more whimsical. So I wanted to introduce some more patterns, some more textures, more little accessories, but really heavily focused on the DIY side of adding things instead of just continuing to purchase new costume materials. However, this also kind of coincided with I wanted to get a couple of new skirts to add to my wardrobe. And originally when I was looking at skirts online, I wasn't even thinking Ren Fair costumes. I was just thinking of skirts to wear to church, really was the goal. So I found this one on Amazon. I'm going to try to hold it up to show as much as possible. I was kind of reminiscing about when these were kind of in style when I was in high school, middle school age. The very long peasant prairie skirt situation, and I liked this patchwork mixed pattern style. So I got this one just for my normal wardrobe. But then I was looking at it and realized it has a lot of the colors that I was thinking of for my mushroom costume. So this, I think, is going to actually be one of my pieces that I style for that Ren Fair costume. I think it kind of adds some more whimsy, definitely adds the patterns that I was looking for. So I was really excited about that when I tried it on and realized that that could work. This kind of led me down another rabbit hole of what is the top gonna look like for this costume. So I'll have to check the colors when I put the final costume together, but I have both a mint green kind of blousey top, and I have my standard beige blousey sleeve Ren Fair dress that I wore under all of my costumes last year, and that does work styled as a shirt with a skirt over it. So I'll probably do one of those two tops, but I wanted to have some sort of a vest or lace up piece in the front, and usually I wear my stays with my Renaissance Fair costume, and even though I really like my stays, I kind of wanted to include an option for myself that was a little bit more comfortable or less restrictive. The stays that I have are very comfortable because they have pretty minimal boning in them, but still sometimes when it's really hot I'd prefer comfort over the structured look. So I was kind of toying with the idea of making another comfy bodice, one of my previous videos on my channel, I think now from 2 years ago. I crocheted a corset for a Renaissance Fair costume. But anyway, I stumbled upon a tutorial from Craftin' a Cuppa, who's a new to me channel, She has a tutorial called the Good Vibes Vest, and it looks like a granny stitch vest, but the way it's constructed, it looks like it's worked all in one piece. And it actually has directions for lacing up the front to give it kind of the like corset stays appearance, but it's made with yarn, so it's very comfy. So I was intrigued by this idea, but I also was like, well, I'm trying to stash bust. I don't really want to go and get yarn for a new project that is like very much an impulse project. And then I realized, if you look behind me, right here, I have a whole stash of cotton yarn in my scrap, like, random stuff that matches the skirt that I just decided was going to go with my costume. So I think I'm just going to dive right in and start that today. I will be watching the tutorial and I'll link it in the description box below in case you also want to make it, but I'm just going to dive right in and start crocheting. So far I really like this tutorial. Craft and a Cuppa, I don't know if she said her name at the beginning, I forgot what it was, but she gives really good directions. This is what I've got so far, so you can see we're doing kind of a granny pentagon shape, and I am choosing to change colors every 2 rows. I just connected my like kind of teal yarn. I'm also working all in cotton, or I think this yarn might be a cotton bamboo blend, I can't remember, but lightweight, cool yarns. I'm not doing this in wool or acrylic because it will get too hot. This is what we got so far, and I'm just going to keep going. Okay, I think I am now done with the back panel. So in the pattern or in the video tutorial, she gives some really good directions for how to measure the panel so that it's the correct size. So I have reached the size that I need to, so I'm going to move on to the next step, which I believe is starting to like come forward and shape the like armholes and shoulders. But I really love this color combo so far. I think it's going to turn out really cute with the costume. Okay, I'm at a point in my project where I kind of need to make some decisions to deviate from the original design. So as I'm making this vest, the part that like goes around the back of your neck is getting too high, and the front is not like increasing fast enough to like get it to be a vest in the front. No fault to the pattern designer. She did a really good job with the like armhole measurements and everything like that. I think that I just need to take some adjustments to fit my own body shape. So I think what I'm going to do is, instead of going all the way around, because it is getting quite long at the bottom edge, I'm just going to go from one of the bottom corners of the front to the bottom corner on the other side, so not increasing in the back anymore, and that'll give me like more width built up faster, and I'll just have a fold over collar for my design. I was already not planning on doing the hood that's in the original version. I also think a fold over collar will suit well for the costume that I have in mind for this, because I might be wearing wings with it, so that might help disguise the wing straps a little bit. So I think that that's going to be a good design to fit me. So I'll have kind of this like shawl fold over collar situation. I'm going to have to be pretty creative when weaving in ends because of how I did the knots for this. I'm going to have to then disguise them because this is now going to be on the outside of the fold over collar. So I'm going to just keep plugging along. I did actually have to order another skein of yarn for this, which I was trying not to do, but I really want more of this like teal tone in there, and I'm almost out of it. So I did order another skein of that should be here tomorrow when I'm filming it. But I would say I used up a significant amount of scraps on this so far, so that part's a win. Okay, so I got to a point where I had finished the front. I'll stand up for a second so you can see kind of what it looks like. But I've kind of realized a problem. I think this like fold over collar is gonna drive me absolutely crazy at the Renaissance Fair because it'll be too hot. It's also really hard to like position it just right. I think it's, if I like lace it up, it's gonna be constantly like flipping. So I think I'm gonna have to frog part of this project, which makes me really, really sad because I have now spent way more time on it than I thought I was going to, and now I'm undoing part of it, and I want this video to go up tomorrow. So I'm gonna frog it and do some more fudging with the pattern. I think I will have to frog it all the way back to the row where I made the armholes. I'll leave the armholes intact, but I think I need to do something where there's like decreases in the front to make the front more low profile, because this is just too much fabric for a like almost 80-degree day that we're gonna have. So it's absolutely ripping my heart out to like think about doing this, but I think I just have to do it and frog it and end up with a piece that I will actually like. So here we go. I also had to come downstairs to film this clip instead of just doing it upstairs where I was working, because apparently there's a construction project going on my street, so all I can hear upstairs is a drill going outside. So it's just kind of a chaotic day, but here we go with the frogging process. Alright, I have modified the design yet again after doing all of that frogging. So I ended up going back until like the third stripe after the armholes. And then I found the center point of the top back and started doing rows from that center point, decreasing each row along what is now the neckline. So what I'm hoping this will do is make the vest sit a little bit further back on me so that the bottom corners will kind of like come up, if that makes any sense at all. It's a little hard to like figure this out without like really being able to get a good like view of it trying it on, because right now these like there's no way to pull the like sides forward to see how it's really going to sit. But that's the plan, and this should help me out as far as time, because it means each row is getting shorter and shorter instead of longer and longer. I'm starting at that center point of the neck and only going to the corner that is now like the bottom front of the vest. So I'm not going all the way around. This did mean that I lost a little bit of length in the back, but not too much. And honestly, it was pretty long in the back, so I'm not too upset about that. But we're gonna see how much I can get done tonight while watching like the show that I'm currently watching with my husband, and maybe even into tomorrow morning, and hopefully I can still get this video out for you, but I'm already predicting that it might come out a little bit late, but that's just how it is. Okay, it is now the next morning from my last clip, and I think I'm gonna have to frog again on this piece because it's still not sitting right. So yesterday I continued with the plan, I just dropped my hook, that I had of splitting down the back, but when I went to try it on after getting a few rows done, it's still like too bunched right here. So I think I need to frog everything that I just did and try again, because like this is still too wide right here. And I think I can do the same concept of like having it split, but I think I need to start my split rows like all the way out close, like closer to the armholes instead of like directly in the middle of the back. And hopefully that'll work. I'm starting to get very frustrated with this project. It better be cute when it's done. That's all I'm saying, because I was like real close to just scrapping this video last night. But I also figured that it's important to show you guys that A, like even people who've been crocheting forever do still not do things right. But B, this is why grading patterns for bigger sizes is so tough, because I'm sure the original version worked great for the sizes that it was made in for the tutorial, but it's clearly not working for me. So we're gonna frog again, try again. I've got my coffee. This video is definitely coming out late, so I apologize if you were super excited for a Friday video. Looks like this is gonna be a Saturday video, but that's just how it works with crochet projects and DIYs. It's gonna be cute when it's done. That's what I keep telling myself. So let's frog and try again. I wanted to jump back on to show you my thought process, because I think I finally figured out what the major problem is and why this just isn't working for me. So I frogged back to the point I frogged back to last time I frogged, where I had the row to make the armholes plus a couple of rows to make these little straps. So originally I was like, okay, if I want this to fit correctly, I have to move my coffee table so I can back up. I want the back to sit like this, and the sides of the back should be kind of straight and like match up with my t-shirt seams. However, when I pull it back like that, I get this gapping at the top. And if I then try to adjust so that it's not gapping, the back panel is not sitting flat where I want it. So I think I figured out that when the creator of the pattern did the armholes, they actually are too big for the way my body is proportioned. So when she showed how to do the armholes, she said that they should have like some drape to them. They should be bigger than the original like section of the pentagon that they're covering. I think that that actually doesn't work for me. I think that they needed to be smaller. Like I definitely have plenty of arm room as it is. They definitely can be smaller so that it fits flat against my back. So I think I have to frog further than I did last time, and maybe just like scrap the way she did the armholes entirely and just work off of the pentagon and try to like figure it out from there. Again, this is a learning process, and I also really want to stress that like this is nothing against the original designer. It's a free pattern that's available in a tutorial. I'm just pointing it out for people who are going to have the same issues that I am, so that there's a way to fix it and still get a finished product. So I think that is the next step I'm going with. So we're gonna do some more frogging and then hopefully get this fixed so that I can wear it to the Renaissance Fair. Okay, so here's the new plan, and hopefully the final one. First of all, I did frog back to where I said I was going to, took out the armholes, so I was left with just the pentagon back piece. I then held it up to my actual Ren Fair bodice, like a cloth one that I had purchased, just to kind of get a comparison for fit, to see if there was anything I could take into account, and it did really help to line it up to kind of see what shape pieces I still needed. So what I ended up doing is I started a stripe. It was this like greenish color where I went up the edge of the pentagon, left a gap for the armhole, and then connected it to the back piece perpendicularly, is that a word? This way, by like slip stitching into the top to kind of make a seam. So then I kept working those rows the same way, vertically along like one of the front chest panels. And then the plan from here on out, now that the strap is wide enough for what I want, I'm going to decrease rows to get that V shape in the front. And this is already looking much closer to what I had originally pictured. It still has the like wider flowy shape at the bottom because of the increase of that bottom corner of the pentagon, but I am going to be able to do that lace up front that fits fairly snugly the same way that a bodice or like a corset top would. So I'm just going to keep going with my yarn and do the remaining rows of the front pieces, the laces, and maybe some trim on the bottom if I'm feeling it, and also weave in approximately 5,000 ends. Alright, here is the finished vest. So I just went and did another row of granny stitch around the bottom and single crochet up the like center sections, just to kind of give it a little bit of trim on those edges. And I did foundation single crochet for the ribbons. I did leave long strings on the end for now because I think I want to put beads or something on the ends of the strings. I'm also debating adding more of a decorative trim along the bottom edge. This is the skirt that I've been showing. I'm going to pull up the fabric so you can see. So it does match very well. This is what the back looks like, and I'm glad I'm finally happy with this piece because it was definitely very frustrating while I was working on it, as you could tell during the video. But I am really excited to style this for Ren Faire. Obviously I just have it over a t-shirt for right now, but I am going to show you the full costume in a few weeks when I style it for my actual Ren Faire trip and all of my mushroomy accessories and stuff like that. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and seeing the process in creating this finished piece. If you want to follow me on other forms of social media, that information will be in the description box below. Also, it really helps me out if you like this video, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel so that you can see more crafty content from me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.